Hello, everybody, and welcome to the January 10th Trips and Traps. Andy Serling, Eric Donovan.
Three races to bring you from this abbreviated race week, but two of them stakes races from Saturday, the Busanda and the Jerome. We'll get to those a little bit later on. We'll start off the show, though, with the seventh race from January 4th, a 20-claimer for 4-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs.
There's a horse in this race, in Dan's Gold, who's kind of easy to see because you have those sort of gold and red silks, number 6, that I think this is a horse that has been sitting on a good effort and may have given the good effort in this race, and because of an over-eager ride, was given no chance.
No chance whatsoever. A horse that should have been, settled nicely back in this spot here. I mean, if he's able to settle back down there, I mean, he's going to get a perfect trip in behind a couple of speed horses. Instead, the rider gets real antsy here and starts moving this horse along into what turns out to be a pretty quick pace in here. 22-3, 45-3, the opening quarter and half.
A monster pace, and you could argue that Nebacon is the horse actually in third. The 3 horse may have run very, very well at here to get the victor, be finished second. I'm sorry, but Dan's Gold's not a speed horse, and I think it's just a testament to how sharp he is. He was able to even engage in such a fast pace, and this is a tough spot for him. And I really just don't understand, and I think you agree, what the big hurry was.
Don't understand it either. I mean, you take a stalking position here. This horse could have been down on the rail in third, angling out at this point in the race, and trying to run down the leader. On the other side, on the other hand, what actually happened was the horse made a premature move, vied for the lead, and now kind of gets everyone else into the race because he's getting tired late and is going to collapse the race. And Nebacon, I think you're right, ran a remarkable race in the fact that he was able to sit up close to the pace, and all the other pace horses were nowhere to be found.
Yeah, absolutely. Nebacon ran really well in there, but the race, as you said, was collapsed by Dan's Gold, and a sort of curious premature move with a horse and an over-aggressive ride on a horse that was sitting on a good race. Now, we'll see when he comes back, maybe take a couple weeks and give him a little bit of time to come back from this race, because that was a very hard effort on him. But Dan's Gold is a better horse than his PP suggests. He was coming off a layoff. This is his third start, but he's clearly rounded into form and ran much better than his final finish demonstrates.
I agree with you there. We'll move on to one of our 2 stakes from Saturday. Now, this is the Busanda. Run is race number 7 on Saturday, mile and 70 yards for 3-year-old fillies.
I want to talk about the winner, Princess Somar, as well as the 3, Asaya. Now, you saw Asaya here break slowly, and the 1, Princess Somar, of course, breaks very well and gets a very, very good ride and a very good trip. Asaya, it's a typical situation. Eddie Castro's been struggling at this meet. We don't want to beat up on a rider who's struggling, but it's not that surprising he's struggling, seeing the way he's riding. You see he breaks a little slow, and he goes into that immediate sort of rush-up move. He did it the other day with a horse that probably should have won the 10 horse on Saturday, this Hard Land, if he had just relaxed. He also got to interfere with the backstretch. Wasn't his fault, but a horse that ran well. Isaiah wasn't going to win this race, but didn't get the cleanest of trips.
Didn't get the cleanest of trips, and another thing to consider, too, I think we're still kind of debating it a little bit as to, if the rail was the place to be on Saturday. I thought for the most part of the card it was. The last race of the day, the 9th race, was the exception with the horse buying 4 wide for the lead. But for the most part, to me, all day, it seemed like horses inside did well, and up against it here, obviously, is Asaya, who's on the 3 path right now down the backstretch.
Yeah, and also it seemed to be, at least in the 2 stake races, it seemed to be exaggerated in the stake races. You look at the race we're going to show next, the Jerome, where the first 3 finishers will pretty much run the rail most of the race, especially the second and third 2 long shots. Isaiah's getting that Eddie Castro premature, aggressive, 3 wide move. You see him, he's all action, he's pushing away. Chris DiCarlo's sort of riding to keep up, but he's not over-aggressive here, and you can see how aggressive Eddie Castro is with that 3 wide move out here. No real chance. Princess Somar is getting an absolutely perfect trip here and a very patient ride. What's neat about Princess Somar is she's a horse that has no problem going between horses and pushing her way through and running comfortably. That's a very good, mature aspect for this lightly raced 3-year-old, now 3-year-old filly. But she's also a horse that has benefited from 2 ultimately very good trips in a row.
This is a perfect ride from DiCarlo and a perfect trip from DiCarlo. Keep your eyes out on the 2nd and 3rd place horses here. There's going to be a little bit of interference here as Ruby Lips comes out and interferes with Asaya a little bit late in the stretch there. But a runaway win for Princess Somar. That's going to look pretty good on paper next time out. A horse that's won now a few in a row for trainer Todd Pletcher. Looks like she's going in the right direction, but she did, I think she was with the grain of the track and certainly with the grain of the race as well.
It would be interesting to see if, let's just say for argument's sake, you had a track that was a little insidey and she drew post 7 next time she was running, and she had to do a little 3 wide chasing out in the clear, and Isaiah drew an inside post and got maybe a rider change and got a more clean trip if she could turn the tables, because even though the gap in this race was over 8 lengths, with the trouble Isaiah had and everything, you could easily say it was in the 3 to 4 lengths. Let's say 4 to 5 lengths, okay? Take 3 to 4 lengths off of it. Can she close the gap with a different trip? You'd be surprised how much they can.
Oh, I definitely think she can, and especially a horse that's lightly raced that only has 3 starts under her belt that could definitely be improving a little bit as well. I think it'll be a lot closer, maybe even a turn the table situation next time.
It'll be interesting to see. Maybe Princess Isaiah will, maybe that case, maybe she gets an outside post, Princess Somar, maybe it'll be a dead rail that day. She has been pretty fortunate.
We'll move on to the Jerome now for 3-year-olds going 1 mile and 70 yards, and Vijak was the even money favorite, and here the winner of the race, number 2, Long River, the 3-horse Mudflats, the 6, and Vegas No-Show the 7.
Okay, first of all, Paco Lopez is aggressive with Vegas No-Show. Inside of him is Mudflats. The 2 and 3 are the eventual winner of Vijak, and the 3 is Long River in those Darley Silks. Okay, now Paco Lopez takes a hold, so he's going to get caught out wide. In this case, you've almost cleared with Mudflats, but instead of going on with it, Junior Alvarado decides to take a hold of this horse's head. You can see he resists it. Here's Vijak on the rail. Cornelio Velasquez wants to rate him. Here's Vegas No-Show. Paco Lopez wants to be on no man's land the whole race. He's very successful. Long River's behind them. Listen, I'm not saying what Mudflats would have won, but Junior, dude, go. Go to the front. Stop getting caught out wide. Stop getting hung out there. Let your horse go in this situation. It helps nobody.
Helps nobody. And it's not like Vijak even wanted to lead. I mean, you see the rider on Vijak, Cornelio Velasquez, under a stranglehold saying, okay, well, you know, I'd rather someone go and maybe sit second and have a target to run at, but the pace gets so slow that Cornelio has no choice but to go on through with the lead there, and I think that was probably all Vijak is pulling him to the front there, and they end up with Long River on the outside there with Mudflats and Vegas No-Show.
You wonder if Junior had been more aggressive, and if Paco Lopez more aggressive, if they would have separated a little from the field, and they would have been 1-2 on the rail and 2 path, it would have benefited both of them. I mean, Mudflats obviously runs terribly in here. He finishes 7th. Maybe he doesn't want to go far. Maybe he's not really a dry track horse. You see Long River behind them. These 3 are lining up in the 2, 3, and 4 path. But Mudflats has never had a fair chance for this kind of trip. And Vegas No-Show, my gosh. Paco Lopez came from Florida to be 4 and 5 wide around the inner on this horse. That was some trip he made. Look where he is.
Yeah, and he's a horse that's dirtied up now, too. I mean, he was beaten badly in the Rems and almost defeated 30 lengths in there, and I thought had no shot whatsoever with this trip. Actually, you know, he's trying to run on, but he's getting a little bit tired here, and rightfully so. Yeah, he ran okay here, and we'll see, you know, with the inside horses here, 2 long shots, one on the rail right now, one back in 3rd in the Red Silks. It looks like the Long River is going to pass these horses, or at least one of them for 3rd, but that's not the case. The horse on the inside battles on gamely. Siete de Oros, the horse that was 3rd, Americo Vespucci, is able to stay on there. Long River hangs a little bit, but I think that could have been a product of the inside, you know, being the place to be.
I agree. It's tricky because there's not full evidence that it was a gold rail. It seems to be more true in the two turn races. And if this was a gold race, you can give excuses to, certainly, you can give one to Vegas No-Show. Anyway, he had no chance. Give one to Mudflats. You can give one to Long River. And you see the way the long shots are in 2nd and 3rd, never really left the rail during the running, and that's indicative of a strong rail. And Vijak was very game in winning in the front end. And though, you know, he was obviously benefited from being towards the inside, it was in the 2 path. It's a very tricky race. On the day, it was a tricky read, but I think there's a lot of food for thought in both of these races.
A lot, indeed, and it'll be good to see them run next time. You know, hopefully they all run back against each other next time or down the road. I think Vijak might be waiting for the Gotham, but you know, see some of these horses get back and you know, see if we were right about whether the inside was a place to be or not.
And Vegas No-Show is, as you said, a dirtied up horse that at some point is going to make some money for somebody, even if it's finishing 2nd at a big price. Anyway, we can always use your help and your ideas, trips and traps at NYRAinc.com.
Thanks for watching.